This is the last of our seminars for this summer term. And I wanted to thank all of you who are new to our College of Arts and Humanities Speaker Series, as well as those returning for today's presentation. And again, that's the last one that we're having for this summer. And this one is with CREATE, the Center for Research and Education in Arts, Technology, and Entertainment, which is in downtown Orlando and part of UCF College of Arts and Humanities. CREATE is involved in important and very interesting work with the Orlando community, and we hope that today's presentation will pique your interest and increase your participation in our College of Arts and Humanities and its many creative and research-intensive programs. While this is the last of our seminar and speaker series for the summer, we are planning events for the fall term, and we'll send out information when we have a new list and a new schedule set for that. For today, we have Professor Stella Sung, the director of CREATE, and her staff, including Chelsea Anagnoson, I hope I pronounced it right, Matt Tracy and Tracy Morrison, to tell you about the projects that their center is involved in and the impact of those projects on the community and for UCF. Today's talk via Zoom, like our others, will be around 35 to 45 minutes, give or take a few, with opportunity for questions from the audience. Notice at the bottom of your screen, it should be at the bottom, the Zoom controls on your Zoom screen. One of them is the chat function, where if you have any questions about today's topic for any of the participants, you can type them in the chat function, and one of our very helpful moderators will keep track of and ask questions of Professor Sung and her staff on your behalf. Our moderators will help to keep the seminar on track. And remember that they'll also remove disruptors, also known as Zoom bombers, from the program, so you won't have to worry about that. We haven't had any Zoom bombers, and we're hoping not to have any today either. We're planning on a lively and interesting discussion. Remember that today's presentation will be posted also on the College of Arts and Humanities YouTube account and shared, if you feel like writing this down, at cah.ucf.edu/seminars. They usually end up being posted within a week. We have our previous ones there, and this one will be there as well. So we are very happy that you've joined us today. And so since I'm not all that fascinating and you want to hear from Professor Sung and her staff, I will turn it over to Professor Sung and her people from CREATE. So there you go. We're off.
Get myself there. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dean Stanlick and Heather and Victoria for these, for setting up these seminars. We're really, and have enjoyed all of them. And I'm very grateful to have the opportunity today to share some of the work that CREATE is doing. Our PowerPoint presentation will be manned by Tracy Morrison, one of our staff members. So Tracy, if you want to go ahead and put up the first slide. I don't usually have an opportunity to have everyone at my house where I have my piano. So I thought while Tracy's putting up our first slide, I would just play a couple of seconds of music to get us going with some maybe background music. So this is the first movement, opening of the first movement of the Beethoven Fourth Piano Concerto. So Tracy, put up a slide and I'll put in some music. And with that, we'll start right away. Again, welcome and thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your presence. So Tracy, go ahead and go to the next slide and I'll introduce our staff. So I am the director of CREATE. I've been directing CREATE for about 14 years. We're located downtown, have been located there for all that time. And then we have Tracy Morrison, who is our office manager and instructional design lead. Matt Tracy, who is our audio engineer, and Chelsea Anagnoson, our STEAM instructor. And each one of them will bring you a little bit of information about the work they do. I thought rather than having me tell you all about what they do, I thought it would be nice for them to actually tell you the work that they do. It's much more interesting than having me talk. So we'll go to the next slide. So this this quote kind of tells us a little bit about what CREATE is all about. We are an outreach for the College of Arts and Humanities. We work a lot with the community, with our partners in the community, with our students and families in the community. And so we are very service oriented, and we believe that service to one and is good for all. And so this quote seems to sort of embody a lot of our work. Next slide. And this is the aha moment. We were all asked to give an aha moment, and Tracy found this one for us. And we truly believe that this encapsulates a lot of the work that we do. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected. And we have found this to be very true in the students that we work with, in the families that we work with. We always want them to feel appreciated, no matter how small or how large the project or task may be. We always want them to know that the work is appreciated, and we find that people respond to that in so many wonderful ways. Next slide. So what is CREATE? Well, this is our mission. This is our mission statement. And you can read that as I just kind of talk a little bit about it. We have been, as I said, serving the community for the past 14 years. We'd like to try to bridge the UCF faculty, staff, and students and give them a way to reach out into the community. So we have engaged a number of our UCF folks into the kind of programming that we do. And we'll talk a little bit about those projects as we go along. But we do a lot of research as well, and try to tie that on with kind of a creative, artistic approach. Okay, next slide. So briefly, some of our projects we've worked with our STEAM. We have an extended classroom experience, and we've been doing this for several years, where students come from various schools. We had Knapford, the ACE school, the new ACE school across the street from UCF downtown, Boys and Girls Club. These folks come into our space at UCF. One of the reasons that we like for them to come to UCF is to get a feel for the UCF environment. They see university students, and they see other faculty and students around. And so it kind of gives them a feel of what being on a university campus or with university folks might be like. So we bring them to our extended classroom experience. We also do a number of summer camps, have had a lot of partners, including A Gift for Music, Tech Sassy Girls, number of folks who've joined us for summer camps. And unfortunately, we didn't have summer camps this summer, but we hope that we can resume next year. And we also do a number of after-school programs. So we have students come to us again for our after-school programs. And we also do some work with the audio area, and Matt works with our animation students and Via and film students, and also some teaching that he's done also for our community partners as well. An exciting new program that Tracy will tell you about is her leadership Lead Like a Girl program. And this is a new initiative, but one we're very excited, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that, because we really believe that one of our goals is to try to introduce young people to leadership responsibilities, and then they can take those into their future endeavors as well. Next slide. So with that, I am actually going to turn it over to Chelsea Nagnuson. The kids know her as Miss A, and Chelsea is a graduate of UCF, so we're very, very proud of all of our staff who have all been UCF grads and have them here to represent UCF in a larger way. So Chelsea, I'm going to turn it over to you and take it away.
Thanks, Stella. So I am the STEAM instructor at Create, and STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. STEM is the buzzword that people usually hear. Luckily, STEAM is gaining momentum because art is around us everywhere we go. Everything is designed, even the chair that you're currently sitting in. And creative thinking and problem solving is really what allows advancements in those other fields. So it is inherently important to include art in our students' learning instead of omitting it. Next slide, please, Tracy. So what we do is art-based lessons integrated with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We cover a variety of topics, including sea turtles, and you can see that work in our picture to the side. That's the students named him Sir Bubbles. We also discuss local ecosystems. We use 3Doodler 3D printing pens, and we do really fun things like gumdrop bridge engineering. We do all of this with our community partners, including and not limited to the Orlando Science Center, Lake Eola Charter School, and the Academic Center for Excellence, more commonly referred to as ACE. Next slide, please, Tracy. Thank you. This is an example of our growing mural. So every week, the students add a new organism while learning about two local ecosystems, a freshwater habitat and then the land habitat. And we discuss the organism and the food chain and where it belongs in the food chain before we add it to our growing mural. Next slide, please. These are examples of using our 3D Doodler pens, which are mini 3D printers that you can hold in your hand. And 3Doodler is a wonderful company, and these pens are specifically designed to be used by children. So the filament doesn't get too hot, it will never burn the students. And we do a variety of activities with these. Sometimes it is stencil based, and sometimes the students get to create their own designs. Featured in these pictures are the cornucopias we did around Thanksgiving, and those are an example of both. So the cornucopia itself was stencil based, but they made their own fruits and vegetables to fill the cornucopia with. Next slide, please. This is an example of our gumdrop bridges. The students used only gumdrops and toothpicks to create a structure that would support a gingerbread person for at least a minute. Next slide, please. So we partner and have partnered with the Orlando Science Center for years now. We've had work featured in the Fusion STEAM Art Gallery. Sir Bubbles was one of our projects that was featured there. We do workshops for Otronicon, and most recently, we've been working on an exhibition for the Pompeii, the Immortal City exhibition, which is very exciting. We received a grant from the Science Center to do this work, and the exhibition itself is an international exhibition that is only featured in 5 cities in the entire United States, and Orlando, luckily, is one of them. Next slide, please. At the Orlando Science Center for our Otronicon workshops, last year we participated and learned about bioluminescent organisms before building them with the participants, and all ages get to participate. We get as young as 4 and 5-year-olds, and then their grandparents come in and help. And so we strive to create activities that all ages can enjoy. And the bioluminescent organisms were really fun because we could put them in a blacklight box to photograph them, and they get to take their projects home at the end of their 1 to 1.5 hour workshop. Next slide, please. This year, however, has been everything Pompeii in preparation for our exhibit. And the exhibit, the date was moved. It is now going to be in late October. And here we have examples of some of the things we learned about. We learned all about the art of Pompeii. We learned about volcanoes, and the students got to be archaeologists and uncover Pompeii artifacts that was buried under ash, and then discuss the artifacts and discuss everyday life in Pompeii to see what are some of the artifacts that they think they would have left behind if they lived in Pompeii themselves. Next slide, please. So this work has been done with the Lake Eola Charter School, one of our partners, and they do the extended classroom experience, which is basically a weekly field trip. So the students come from the charter school, which is in downtown Orlando. They hop on the Lynx bus and come to us at our downtown campus for 1 hour lessons each week. And these lessons can be one-off lessons where the students usually work independently and everything is done within that 1 hour. But sometimes we do project-based units where the students are working in groups and they work together to create a larger project. Next slide, please. Our Pompeii exhibition, our culmination is going to be a Buon fresco, but we started by learning about volcanoes, and they did volcano paintings with a special baking soda paint so that they could see their paintings come to life and erupt. But we're ending with those Buon frescoes, which is a painting technique where powdered pigment is applied directly to wet plaster. And this technique creates very long-lasting paintings that will survive even a volcanic eruption. And our paintings are depicting Roman myths, very similar to what people learn about in Pompeii. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. Excuse me. The kids are so cute and they just adore Chelsea. And I also noticed, I think Angela from the Orlando Science Center is on with us, and thank you. I want to just do a shout out to OSC and to the folks there. They've been so supportive, and we really love them as partners. So thank you all. And again, thank you, Chelsea. And now I'm going to turn it over to Tracy, and Tracy's going to tell you a little bit about her Lead Like a Girl program. Okay, Tracy.
Good afternoon, I'm Tracy Morrison, and I'm going to talk to you today about Create's Lead Like a Girl program, or LLG. So who are we? LLG became an idea on paper after realizing that many students graduating from high school and either entering college or the workforce do not have essential life skills. I'm talking about handling money, car loans, credit cards, how to design a resume, write a cover letter, how to write a paper or do a presentation. Skills many adults don't have. The fact that young women could be struggling with these tasks bothered me, so we decided to do something about it. What did we do? We have 6 LLG courses appropriately named, such as Budget Like a Girl, Present Like a Girl, Write Like a Girl, Lead Like a Girl, Interview Like a Girl, and Plan Like a Girl. The courses cover budgeting, leadership, time management, interviewing, writing, planning, and many other necessary skills to have as a young adult. Where do we do it? LLG was initially going to be an in-person workshop at UCF's downtown campus, while moving courses to an online format next year. However, with the virus changing our lives, we adapted and moved to an online format this year. And how do we do it? LLG courses are hosted on Canvas, a free learning management system for teachers. LLG participants can read, watch videos, listen to podcasts, all as part of their curriculum. They have online discussions, create journals, upload their own videos or podcasts to submit as assignments. And we couldn't do it without our community partners. LLG is currently working with the City of Orlando and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. Why do we do it? Our students and our community are why we do what we do. The CREATE staff cares about our students and we want the very best for them by giving them skills that they can use for the rest of their lives, by teaching them to see beauty in everything, and by believing in them so they believe in themselves. Our students are why we teach. Passion led us here, and that's what makes CREATE such a special program. Lead Like a Girl is a program for young women who want to equip themselves with tools to increase productivity in personal, educational, and professional opportunities. This is an excerpt from LLG's leadership course. This is question 4 out of 10, leading the girls through an exercise discovering who they are. They each have a private online journal to answer questions and record their thoughts. Each LLG module is set up like a college course with a syllabus, quizzes, reading, videos, and assignments. Each course comes with supplies that are mailed to the participants. A fun pack filled with monthly planners, budget planners, pens, calculators, a bracelet, information about the 19th Amendment, and a welcome letter. So what are adulting skills? Adulting skills can be almost anything a young person would need to know in order to survive adulthood, such as cooking, laundry, sewing, cleaning, and communication. What do we teach? We have an adulting skills section within each LLG course, which lines up with the main course content, such as in Budget Like a Girl. The adulting skills are using budget planners, writing checks, using check registers, balancing your account, staying safe online, and credit and debit card information. In some of the other courses, we teach how to address envelopes, laundry tips, manners reminders, voting information, and tire and oil changing videos. This year is the 100th anniversary of the ratification and certification of the 19th Amendment. LLG will be honoring this event with an online celebration similar to the Call Speaker Series. Our pilot year of Lead Like a Girl was made possible in part by the City of Orlando's Mayor's Matching Grant. We just want to say thank you for being such a great and passionate partner. Our newest partner is UCF's Women's and Gender Studies program. With the help of Dr. Maria Santana, we will be translating our Lead Like a Girl curriculum into Spanish and offering courses in Spanish. Through this new opportunity, we also hope to develop an LLG app that is English and Spanish, as well as tips and a budget planner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Tracy. LLG is a wonderful new initiative, and if anyone out there knows of any kids, any girls, any young women who would like to join in, please go ahead and send Tracy a message and she'll get them hooked up. I think we're looking at students maybe 18 years and above or so, but if anyone knows of any students who would like to participate, we would love to have them join us. So thank you again, Tracy. And now I'm going to turn it over to Matt Tracy, and Matt is going to talk to you a little bit about his VR concert hall. So CREATE not only does things with our children and young adults, but we also have things available. We're doing research on initiatives available for perhaps older students or even professionals. So Matt, would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your virtual concert hall?
Yeah, so this is one of the recent projects I've been working on. It is called, the project name right now is Virtual Concert Hall. I hope to have a bit of a sexier name by the end of it. But before we talk about what it is, I want to talk about why it kind of came about. So next slide. So the reason for this whole project and why it came about is because performance anxiety is actually like a pretty large problem throughout the music community. And one thing that I would argue is that some of the most affected are actually undergraduate students who are pursuing a degree in music. And there's a few reasons for this. The first reason is that usually this is often the first time that these students have played solo, which usually means fully exposed, no other instruments to hide behind. But yeah, this is the first time they played solo in front of an audience, and that can be nerve-wracking. And another reason is because the high level of technique that's required for classical music usually only exacerbates this issue. I was a classical musician myself, and I suffered from performance anxiety quite heavily throughout my undergraduate career, which kind of spawned this project. So now that we talked about why, let's talk about what it is. So the whole idea is that we're going to use virtual reality to try to simulate the concert experience to allow the user to practice performing. The idea is that the experience should be immersive enough to invoke that same anxiety experience in an actual performance. And then through this sort of exposure therapy, virtual concert hall should actually help lower the stage fright during actual performances. So what's the benefit of virtual concert hall? Well, by using a VR experience, the musician is actually able to practice anytime, anywhere. This eliminates any logistical issues of scheduling, sharing the concert hall, all that sort of stuff. Instead, the musician is actually able to teleport from their bedroom or their practice room, really anywhere, onto the stage. And next slide. So we're going to talk about what the experience includes. Well, obviously, it's going to be a concert hall environment because I want to reenact that feeling. There's also going to be some virtual audience members with varying idle animations. So I'm trying to give the idea of presence to these characters. So there won't be just, statues sitting in the audience when you look out. They'll actually have a bit of life to them, some idle movement that, normal people may exist. Or real people rather. So another feature is there's going to be a music stand in the experience with sheet music on the music stand. A lot of musicians still rely on sheet music while performing. And, by covering their eyes with a virtual reality headset, it kind of makes it hard to read the music. So I decided to provide that for them. And so there's a virtual representation of that music stand and the sheet music inside the experience. And then the user can actually upload a scan of their sheet music, which will be then reflected. Another thing that it shows is there's a piano in the experience that will play the accompaniment for your piece. So a lot of instrumentalists will play solo pieces that are accompanied by piano, and to give that a more realistic experience, I'm allowing the user to upload a MP3, a WAV file, something that will then come from the piano that's on the stage to make it feel more real. And finally, one thing I'm excited about is that we're actually using hand tracking for controls inside the experience. We're using the Oculus Quest, which is allowing us to use hand tracking. And that's really helpful because then the user won't need to swap back and forth between, grabbing the controllers, grabbing their instrument, and trying to find the controllers with their headset on. So they'll be able to control everything with their hands inside the experience, which is really neat. So let's take a look at kind of how this looks right now. Still in development, but right now this is kind of a rendering of what the experience looks like from the back of the hall. And then in the next slide, you'll see this is a bit of a closer view here. And sorry for the sphere, that's my makeshift pianist at the moment. We'll actually have a character model there in the real experience. And then in the next slide, you get a sense of what the user will actually see. So the next phase in this development will be that I'll have the virtual audience members out in the hall. And then you can see to the left, here's the sheet music that the user can see. And I'll be doing another lighting pass too to give you that sense of being on stage, but that's kind of how it looks right now amidst development. So now that we've taken a look at it, let's talk about the future for the project. So the next step after we finish developing this app is that I would like to take it into a research phase, and I would like to see exactly how effective the experience is. The idea is to run some participants through, test everything, and just to see if the experience is actually accomplishing the goal that I set out to accomplish. Once that's done, I would like to continue adding different environments for different performers. So, thinking actors, public speaking, popular music artists, just anybody that this could apply to. So given the popular music artist, for instance, maybe I will create an environment that's, I don't know, a coffee house or something. So public speaking might be like an auditorium, actors, black box theater, that sort of thing, to create different environments that they can load into that suit their performance. And then finally, the idea is that if this is all successful and it's effective, that I would like to try to get an Oculus Quest with this experience installed into as many music departments and universities across the nation as possible. So this is kind of where the idea of community outreach comes in. And we'll be starting right here with a UCF music department, and I would hope that we could adopt it there and then hopefully spread across the nation as well. So that's my project.
Great, thank you so much, Matt. As you can see, all of our staff are engaged in doing not only their regular work for CREATE, but also the other things of their independent projects as well. And I think I saw Keith Coons, my colleague from the music department, is joining us today too. So perhaps Matt and Dr. Coons could get together and see about exploring this with some of his clarinet students. So hopefully this will bring us some things to work on. So we're almost out of time for our speaking things here. So I just want to briefly go through another initiative that we have, and Tracy will run the slides for us as I speak about it. And Tracy, we'll skip the video for now, and we'll maybe upload that later for folks to take a look at. So one of the other initiatives that we've started is the pre-college animation intensive. We have a wonderful character animation and experimental animation program here in Cobb. It's an award-winning program and ranked very, very high. And so I got the idea of doing a summer session, a 2-week summer session as a pre-college intensive. And Tracy, if you go ahead to the next slide. There are 3 main goals. One is to provide an experience for the young people coming in, thinking about going into animation as a possible career choice. And then we also are able to provide some teaching experience for our graduate students in our animation program, and also for our faculty to be engaged as well. And thirdly, we hope that it'll become a self-income generating mechanism for our college and for the program itself. This is a picture from last year's intensive. They do a drawing, they do life drawing every day. They do animation, both 2D and 3D animation. So it is actually really as close as we can get to an actual pre-college kind of program. Tracy, next slide, please. This is a picture of some of our graduate students working with the students last year in our CREATE lab. And they are working at the computers, but they also do hand drawing. Next slide. And this is one of our animation professors, Joanne Adams, who is actually showing some of these students her work when she was a Disney animator. And it's really exciting for these young animators to see actual, animations done from somebody who worked at Disney and whose drawings and work was actually incorporated into the films. So we're just really proud of our program here and of the professors and the experience that they're able to give to these young people as they make career choices, hopefully coming to UCF. And I will say that actually from last year's intensive, we actually did recruit a new student. She's coming to UCF this fall and will hopefully enter our animation program. So we've accomplished one of our goals there. All right, next slide. I think we're almost out of time. This is just a picture here of some of the students of characters that they drew and worked on and then later animated. All right, this are some of our partners. We have numerous partners, but as you can see, we really reach across not only from our UCF departments and units, but also into the city of Orlando, as well as to other foundations. We were very blessed to have support from Disney, the Morse Genius Foundation, the Bailey Foundation, Orlando Science Center, and so on. And we so appreciate our community partners and the support that they give to us. And I think with that, we're ready to end up. And if you have any questions, of course, I think now you will send those to Nancy, I guess, and we'll field any questions.
I'm looking right now. Says Orlando Science Center is incredibly grateful for our partnership with UCF Create. This is not a question, but I think a very nice comment. I'm personally honored, and this is from Angela Van Gelder, to collaborate with each of these talented individuals on Utronicon. Thank you for sharing your projects.
Great, thank you so much, Angela.
Oh,
Thank
sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yes, did any questions?
Remember, you don't have to say anything. You can just type them in the side, or if you want to ask, I believe we can unmute people if somebody would like to ask a question directly. Rachel said that it was fantastic. She loved learning about this program. Thank you for all. Thank you all for sharing and doing so much for the kids.
Thank you. Well, it's our honor to be serving our community, and in many ways, I think UCF, all of us, we're all in this community. Our university community is part of the greater community, so we're all actually serving, and that's what makes it so great to be a part of UCF. I've been here for a good many years, and have loved staying here. So it's really an honor to be part of our university community.
Here's a great question for you.
Okay.
How can community members get involved in what you do at Create?
Absolutely. We'd love to have people come and join us. So send me a message, send me an email, because I'm not obviously at my office. So send me an email and I will respond and look at discussing with whomever wants to get involved some of the things they'd like to do. And then we will try to either find new projects to do, which we always are thinking about, or pair people up with some of the current projects. So whatever your interests are, we would love to hear about them.
I have a question, even though I'm one of the moderators. A question came to me. Do you have any programs for special needs kids at Create?
We don't at the current time. We have looked at that. We have looked into developing some partnerships with some of our local organizations who do work with special needs kids. While our staff members are trained in their particular areas, special needs kids often have special needs training for instructors. I think Chelsea, are you on?
Yeah, I can chime in here a little bit. A lot of our partners, including ACE and Lake Eola Charter School. They are inclusive environments, so their special needs students are integrated with the general population. So within our classes, we do actually have a lot of special needs students. Primarily with the LEX students, it's primarily students who are on the autism spectrum are included in our classes, and they participate just like everyone else. Sometimes we have to do special accommodations for them, but LEX is a very special and wonderful school. So they really strive to make sure that the students are all getting the same education regardless of their needs. So the accommodations are really wonderful, and they get to participate just like everyone else.
Thank you,
There's
Chelsea.
another question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to chime in there that, yes, it's wonderful that Chelsea does incorporate her work and these students. I was thinking that if we don't have any specific classes, I should say, rather, for special needs kids, but as Chelsea pointed out, these students are incorporated into the classes that are available. So.
Okay. There's another question that is up in the chat section, and that is, are there any types of donations that would be helpful to your center?
Well, thank you. We are always happy to receive extra funding. We try to be very judicious and make sure that the funding goes exactly to whatever the donor or patron would like it to go to. There is a foundation account that we have. So if anyone would like to make a donation, we are always very happy to receive that. And we very much promise you that your funds will be used well. We really strive to make sure that the programs we offer are inclusive and diverse, and also that we cover a variety of projects for students to do. So thank you for that question.
Okay. Given what's going on in the world and right now with the coronavirus, are there ways that people can be involved in online fashion coming up in the fall? I might have missed a detail there, but you know, some sorts of exhibits such as what the gallery does that you'd be able to do in the fall or starting in the fall term?
Sure. Well, I will ask Tracy and Chelsea and Matt actually to both go ahead and all three of them to chime in any time that they'd like to. Tracy's LLG is online, and Chelsea's also developing online courses as well. So maybe the two of you guys could chime in on that and say a little bit about the online opportunities.
Go ahead, Chelsea.
Thanks, Tracy. So since we've been working remotely, I have been putting all of my content in a public Canvas course, which is STEAM with Miss A. It includes a variety of topics covering everything in STEAM, and then also a few lessons on Pompeii to include that. And I can send the information for the course along, so we can post it along with the YouTube video. There can be a link in the description and get some enrollment there. And I've been working to make sure that the lessons are suitable for all ages with easy accommodations, or like I put in the description some extensions that people can add on, but really they're lessons that can be done with everyone from kindergartners all the way through anyone who wants to do it, really.
Yeah. Did Matt have anything to say, like with the virtual performance?
Nothing to chime in yet. So unfortunately, with my experience right now, you know, got to finish up development, and then, like I said, the idea next was the research phase, but obviously that's being, impeded a bit by COVID. It's kind of hard to get people together to research. But yeah, I'm sure we'll keep updates on our Create Facebook page. So if anybody wants to tune in.
Okay.
And I'll just say quickly that Matt's a wonderful audio engineer, and so if there are opportunities for him to share some of his experiences, he might be able to help a little bit with that. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. I don't know whether all of you have your chat screen up on. Oops. Oh, now we're back. Whether you have your chat screen up, but there is another, let's see, there's a comment here, and not everybody is able necessarily to see these, so I wanted to read this. It says, from Glenford Samuel, says, I'm currently the Community Outreach Chair for the College of Arts and Humanities Alumni Board and on the Diversity Week Committee at the John Hitt Library. Would Create be interested in participating in this year's Diversity Week? I am particularly interested in LLG and the virtual concert hall.
And I would say yes. I would say a definite yes. I'm speaking on behalf of my staff, but I'm sure that they can chime in as well. And yes, we would be delighted and honored to be a part of that. So
That would be
I
great.
agree.
Tracy is saying yes. That's
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And
Yeah.
we lost our last slide, but I'll go ahead and post Tracy and my email here in the chat so you can reach out.
great. Thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Right. Let's see. Does anybody, we'll do one more possibility. It's kind of like a last round of drinks. Let's see if anybody has any more, which I don't even go.
I wish I had drinks to serve everybody.
Oh, there you go. We can have virtual ones, I
Yeah.
guess. If you look here on the chat screen and you want to be able to get in touch with Tracy or Matt, it's tracey.morrison@ucf.edu and Matt, matt.tracy@ucf.edu. So if anybody would like to ask them any questions outside the context of this presentation, or Stella, or that would be fine as well. And hers is stella.sung@ucf.edu. And there it came up on the chat screen as well. So what I'd like to do on behalf of everyone, especially since this is the last of our summer seminar series, I wanted to thank everybody for being here to watch. I think now that we have everybody's email address as well, when we get some things put together, whether they are through the Dean's office or through our department, schools, and units, we'll be posting information and sending that out to everyone who has participated in all the seminars throughout the summer term. And we hope that you'll be able to come back for that variety of informational research and teaching sessions that we will be able to have put together ourselves, or that we'll put together in conjunction with and collaboration with others. We are hopeful that these things are very interesting to people, will increase their interest in the arts, humanities, the performing arts areas. One thing we haven't had yet is our what some people call dirty arts, like sculpture and painting. I think some of that would be interesting as well, to have some people do some presentations. My own area is philosophy. You might think, oh yeah, what are they going to do? Well, we could talk about odd, strange, unusual, and ethereal things, which I love to do. Just joking in a way, sort of. And anyway, so we have just an enormous variety of academic areas, people's interests that span so many topics and concepts that are of importance and application to all of us all the time. So please keep the College of Arts and Humanities in mind, and participate whenever you can in the activities, the programs, the music, the theater, the lectures that we have available for everyone. I'd sure appreciate that. Anyway, so thank you very much. I guess if there are no more questions, we'll go ahead and close up this session for today. And thank you again. And Stella, Tracy, Chelsea, if you have anything more, and Matt.
Just want to say thank you again to the college for providing this opportunity, and we wish everybody well, stay healthy, and stay in touch. And thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you all.